Guys, are we ready?
We're live.
My name is Lonnie Schuberg with ThyssenKrupp, and we did the elevator installation. This is the owner training, just to get you familiarized a little bit.
I thought you looked familiar. From Barry China.
Gotcha. One of the things that's unique about this elevator is the way that the car is called. We've given some keys to Milton J. Womack, which will be, I'm sure, distributed. It's a 206 key. You'll have several different ones. It has the number on each key. And just what you do is when you put the key in, you just turn it and it releases and it calls the car. And then from inside the car, you push the button for the floor that you want to go to, and then it operates just like a normal elevator. But there's no push button. There's no way to call the car without a key. So that's a little unique, a little different, so it's important to know. Inside the car, we can take a look if you'd like. There's a couple other key switches for run stop. That just turns the car off so it won't operate. There's independent service, which turns the car on, and what that means is the car won't work from the call button. You work it from inside the car. So you hit close door, the door close, push the button, the car will go up, and then the door will open and it'll just stay there. It will only work from inside the car. So if you're moving furniture or for whatever it may be, the car will sit where you leave it until you get back in it, close the door and move it down. The other one is Horseway Enable, which we don't really recommend you use. That allows you to move the car from outside the car, from this. And that can be kind of dangerous. People have been hurt before when someone's doing something and the other person doesn't know. They're on another floor, they're moving the car. Crushing has occurred. So you have keys for Horseway Enable, it's your car, but we don't recommend that you use that. If you have any issues, I have some business cards with the number that's been underlined. That's for a dispatcher. If you need a tech for any reason, you have a concern, you heard a noise, something isn't operating like it should, just call the tech. He'll come out, he'll take a look at it, he'll make sure everything is good, or if it isn't, get it good. The only other thing for housekeeping is it's important to keep the sills clean. If someone can vacuum those out, because it doesn't take much for the door to not close all the way. And if it doesn't close all the way, it won't function. The elevator won't move. Just because it doesn't know if it's a person or what. Yes, sir. So whether that's a pen cap, a thumbtack, anything that can fall into the groove of the sill, either this one or this one, if the door doesn't close, the elevator won't go. So, sweeping or vacuuming of the door sills can go a long way. Most of the time, if you're having an issue with your elevator, it's the door, because the safety circuits are connecting. So that's where a tech will start if he gets called, but just keeping things out of the sill will go a long way for the elevator continuing to operate properly. If you'd like to take a look at the key switches inside, we can, that I addressed a moment ago, but that's really about it.
The 206 key, is that good for all the elevators on campus?
Yes, sir.
How many of those will we get, because they're going to have those keys in every building in order to move kids around?
I can check the finals and see how many that I turned in. There's probably 20.
Oh, okay.
Or more than that, maybe.
Okay.
It was the most common key because we weren't sure if janitorial staff would need it, how many faculty members would need it, So they sent a lot of those with the elevators, and we turned them all over. If you need more, I can provide more.
Okay. So if, let's say we have a kid that gets in there and has an issue, an emergency, or somebody falls out or something, how do we get somebody out of the elevator, rescue somebody, if something happens and we need to get them out?
We have service technicians that work in the area doing preventive maintenance. There'll be a guy coming here to do preventive maintenance. I'm not sure what the plan called for, if it was monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, but there'll be someone here. The number that I've underlined is for the dispatcher. So if someone gets entrapped, call the number.
Would the 206 key work? Did somebody come here to the 206 key and call the car and bring it down?
If it's stuck, if someone is entrapped, it's not moving, the key won't call.
Okay.
It's run into some sort of an issue or had one of the safety circuits break, so it's stopped to not injure anyone.
Okay.
So he won't be very far away. We've got tons of guys doing. So during working hours, which is Monday through Friday, which is also like school hours, they'll come over here, they'll open the door, they'll establish where the car is, what's going on, and then either lower the car or raise the car to get the person out.
if the elevator's working properly and somebody just passes out, then your key would work to
Absolutely.
get them down and get them out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
At Baton Rouge High, we've had to call, we've had the
Elevator's fine.
fire department had to come and
Rest do that.
rescue.
Yeah, and they can do that too, depending on,
I just don't think there's anybody around.
yeah, we do pretty much all the maintenance for the big buildings downtown. I think we do 5700 Florida also, which is a big building. We do buildings in Denver.
They kept, the fire department kept asking us about the key, the,
Right.
what is that? The little, what goes in that little?
That is this,
Yeah.
and you have to sign legal documents to get one, because we've had people open the door, get in the pit, car come down and crush them. So Thyssen decided, don't give those out anymore. If you sign something that says we are liable for any injury that occurs because we are in the hoistway, our perspective on it is, you know, we're the elevator guys.
Okay, so when they ask us, do you have that, the answer is no.
No, yeah. Because if you allow the door to close, the safety circuit is connected. If someone calls the car and you're down there,
Gotcha.
So when you guys come do your quarterly or maintenance, whatever, y'all clean the pit, make sure the pit's not holding water, doing all that kind of good stuff to it?
that's correct.
Okay.
Part of what operates the pistons is the hydraulic fluid that moves the elevator, and it lubricates the piston. So with it lubricating the piston, there's a drain that goes into the bucket so it doesn't wind up all over the bottom of your pit, and it stays clean. And what they'll do then is they'll take that fluid out and add fluid back, so it keeps operating. It's never low. The
Right.
pistons stay lubricated for longevity.
Okay. Any other questions, guys?
Just for information purposes, the last project I was on, they had an issue where someone was stranded in the elevator, and the fire department came
Mm-hmm.
and did a lot of damage to the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
While it's important, and that's a judgment call for the principal, it's important to keep in mind, if at all possible, exhaust your measures to try to get ThyssenKrupp, because they can get out here quickly and do it. But of course, if it's a matter of life and death, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
But if you call in the fire department, chances are they're gonna do some pretty good damage to the elevator.
That is a very good and very valid point. If you are determined to get the door open, you're getting it open. But everything that keeps it closed will be broken. And then that gets expensive. There aren't any cheap elevator parts. So if you can get a technician, a mechanic to open the door for you, it is recommended, but in an emergency, of course, it's do what you have to do. I didn't know how many cards to bring, so the underline number is the dispatcher. That's the quickest way to get a response. My number's of course on the card. If you call me, I can forward that information along, but it's adding steps in the procedure which will extend the response time. So the underline number gets you the quickest response, quickest help, quickest attention.
And when we go through closeout, we'll find out what the warranty.
I was gonna say, I wonder what the warranty.
It's a 12-month maintenance agreement, plus a 1-year warranty. So you got a
Right.
maintenance agreement and a dental warranty.
Because, you know, the one at Baton Rouge High it never worked right.
Right.
Well,
Well,
explain, Lonnie, you would, if, like you said, keeping those tracks closed, you come out and there's trash in there, how do y'all treat that? You know, you say the wooden clothes, is that it wasn't that's more of just a cleaning item,
Mm-hmm.
but you'd still come out and take care of that under the maintenance agreement?
Yeah, because when the mechanic is called, our elevator is not functioning.
Mhm.
He doesn't know what it is. He can't determine it until he's
Until he gets
here.
here.
So when he's here, he'll address the issue, pen caps or
Right.
pencils or whatever.
Yeah, but I have talked to Airmark, that's part of their job, they've got to keep those
Mhm.
areas clean.
Right.
I mean, that's just something they have to do.
Yeah, all the help that we can get out
Right.
is in your best interest.
Absolutely,
Um,
we have to keep those
Right.
clean.
But when they come, he won't say, oh, it's a pen, too bad. You know, he's going to address it. He will make your
Right,
elevator operate.
right, but we try to keep that,
Yeah.
so once the 1-year period is up, is there an option for them if they want to extend the maintenance or
Oh, yeah.
extend the warranty?
We would
That's an
really
option.
appreciate that, as a matter of fact.
I think that then it goes under contract with Airmark after that, doesn't it?
I'm not sure.
Or they have something with
I'm sure
somebody.
y'all have the school system
Right.
probably.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
with
next
somebody.
one
It goes with-
Right.
vendor.
It goes with a vendor,
I
right?
got you. Okay. All right.
So is there anything else that you'd like to see or any other questions that you have?
Did y'all want to look inside to see the buttons?
Oh, I just like to see.
I mean, it's just a
I always like
standard,
to
yeah, we
see.
go inside and
Yeah.
look.
I always like to see.
How many of these are on campus?
One per building.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's 4 elevators.
Okay.
Nice and friendly.
As long as you don't push up, it won't.
Hey, wait, do we really want to ride on this thing?
I've ridden it several times.
I love you, Mr. Earl.
We've been riding on.
Yeah, so these are the keys. You can turn the fan off and just have the light on. The run stop. I try to keep the door open because it gets warm. The independent service that I mentioned, where it'll just go and stop till you hit door close and then the floor. And the hoistway enable that we just recommend
You
you
do
don't.
get trapped on this with this for help.
Yeah, you can hit the bell. I just call it the help me button.
Yeah.
You'll get the ThyssenKrupp dispatcher that says, are you having an issue? And
Yeah.
for the fire marshal, he says, no, we're just testing. If you're in trouble, you're like, yes, I really do.
Yeah.
And then they'll contact the dispatcher who sends the guy. So by the time you find out someone's entrapped, someone's probably on the way. Because they'll handle that with the button.
Okay.